Hello, Facebook ads people. I'm Konstantinos, and this is the Facebook ads breaking news podcast. Hello, guys, another podcast. Just so you know, I'm in the middle of creating several videos about 2024. It's going to have advanced plus my philosophy, optimization, and all of that. But we will keep doing the podcasts where we have more information. So, I would like to start first of all telling you that thank you very much for all the wishes that you gave me for the new house, which is going to have also a new studio, by the way. I don't know if we mention it, and you will see different things and stuff. And for the baby coming and everything, thank you very much. I really like my community, or the community that we have here. It's not toxic at all. It's all about Facebook ads, I love it. Today we're going to discuss a little bit about, I'm going to create a video also about it, how many ad sets you should put in a CBO campaign, because it's the most frequent question asked, and I have seen one story with something that I completely disagree. So we'll talk about that. And before we go to that, I had a discussion with my friend Jonathan. Jonathan really... so the idea that I had about the podcast was that I wanted to do one podcast which was going to be named Two Friends Talk About Facebook Ads, because the discussions that I do with Jonathan, I believe that if they go in public, they will help a lot of people. So some of you might think that Jonathan is my imaginary friend, but no, I'm not crazy. He exists, and I hope that in the new studio, maybe I'm going to convince him, because I think that I can exchange it with the fact that he wants to take me to the gym. So if I go to the gym and he comes to the podcast, maybe we can do an exchange. But we will see. Jonathan tries to fix my life. He tells me, you have done everything in your life. This is the last thing that you need to do. You need to check a little bit your health. So I'm guessing that maybe I'm going to do it earlier so that I can convince him to come later, but he doesn't know about this master plan. Also, because he's very busy, he doesn't watch all of these podcasts, so I can say whatever I want. I hope that he's not going to see it. Anyway, so he called me, he sent me a text, and he told me that, look, dude, Facebook ads are so stupid. They have this... they have the text they have different text while I put different primer text, for example. And I immediately realized that it's something that I have seen several times. So when you create campaigns and you do on the ad level a single ad, except from the primer text and the headline that you have there, you can go and you can edit the different creative that you can put in the different placements. So there are 3 edits there, one for the feeds, one for the stories and reels, and one for the other wide placements. So you can go there and you can change the creative, but over there you can see that on the left side it has also primer text, headline, destination, and tags. I have created one video recently because I was getting some messages from some clients that the ads were sending people to the shop while we were not using website and shop into the ad set level. And the truth is that when I checked, I have seen that Facebook was auto-tagging products. So despite the fact that I wasn't using website and shop, it was auto-tagging products inside there when you edit inside these placements. If you go now and you open one campaign and you go into the ad level, you will see that when you use a single creative, for example, you can edit the different placements there so that you can use different creatives. Over there, it's also the tag product. And because on Shopify, you're just going, you're listing your products and you're connecting them with Shopify, Facebook can find them and actually auto tags them so that it can send people to the shops. The reason that it's doing that is because they want to have more people going to the shops actually, so that they can get more data, first of all, because they want the shops to work, because the more people go to shops, the more the algorithm is understanding. And the other thing is that they also want to get the commission from the sale. So all of this is the reason that this is happening, and I couldn't find it. Then I found out that it was auto tagging, and I found out that it was finding these products through the connection that the products have with Shopify, that is connected also with your shop. I hope it makes sense. So right now on the ad level, we have to be extremely careful of what we do, because there are several things that Facebook does. So the auto tags. Secondly, you can go and you can see that it does some AI optimization and stuff. It can add the music, it can take your headline and put it as main copy. It does this kind of thing, so you can go there and check them and actually turn off from the toggle button on the top of these optimizations, all of these things. And the last thing is this: the primary text and the headline that you have on your ad level is not the one that Facebook is going to use if you have different primary text and headline inside the edit of each placements, as we said. So when we create ads, we go and we say, okay, we want 1080 by 1080, which is 1 by 1, or 4 by 5 for the feed placements, and 9 by 16 for our stories and reels. So we go and we edit over there the stories when we have automatic placements, and we go and we change the creative. But over there is also, as I said, destination, description and headline. Description, headline, and primary text. So if you go and you create, for example, one ad and you have copy 1 and copy 2, okay, on your normal ad in the ad area, and then you duplicate this one and you don't press the X button so that you can remove the creative immediately, but you just go and you change the creative by the edit button by just replacing it, then it's going to keep the copies from the previous ad. I hope that it makes sense. Let me explain it a little bit more. So I'm on the ad level and I'm creating, let me visualize it also. So I'm on the ad level and I'm creating one ad over here, which is going to have, I'm uploading a picture, okay, 1080 by 1080. And then I'm putting copy 1 and copy 2, headline 1, headline 2, okay. Then I'm going to my stories and reels, I edit, and I change this one to 9 by 16. Okay, so I have my different things and I have my copies and everything is okay. So then I just don't want to create a campaign all over again. So I duplicate the campaign and I go and I say, okay, I'm going to use exactly the same structure, but I want to do another copy and another product and another image. So I create another one, and this time I'm using Creative 2. This is Creative 1, then I'm writing like you can see them, but anyway, it helps me think. So I'm using Creative 2, and then I'm going, instead of pressing the X button on the creative level, on the ad level, I'm pressing the X button and I'm uploading again all over again. I'm just keeping it as it is and I'm just editing the feed placement. I'm changing the creative, I'm editing the stories placement, I'm editing the creative, and I'm going below that and I'm changing the primary text and the headline. Wrong. What is going to happen is that it kept on the edit level of the feed and of the stories all of the copies and the headlines of Creative 1. So when you are doing ads, either you are going to remove the creative so that you can upload it all over again, and it's going to take the primary and the headline that you have put it on the ad level below and not inside the edit level, or you are going to go and check always within, this is something that you have to do anyway, within each of the placements, you have to go every time and check the primary text and the headline and the destination, because maybe you duplicate it from another and kept those. A lot of times people see their ads and they say, but I have on the primary text on the headline this and something else appears. It's because it has something else written within the different placements for the feeds and the stories and stuff where you can actually edit them. I hope that it's going to help some of you, that you understand what I'm talking about. It's really valuable information, because imagine that Jonathan is doing ads every day and this is something that he was struggling with. This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying super advanced information. It's not anything crazy, but it's something that needs a lot of research to find it, that it's actually causing this issue. Because a lot of times I'm using ads that they have a primary and a headline, and then eventually when you go to the ad you see that they have a different headline and you just think that it's a glitch. It's not a glitch, it's the things that it has inside the the different placements on the ad level. Now, I was thinking with Jonathan before I close the subject that, okay, and is it right or wrong? If you think of it, the same way that you want Facebook to actually respect the fact that you want to have a different creative on your stories, the same way when you put inside a primary text and the headline, it has to respect that instead of the primary text and the headline that you put in the general area of the ad. So it makes sense that it has to override everything else. What I want you to keep is that when you do ads, you need to check also inside edit your ads inside the placements to see if you have different copies and creatives and if you're okay with them, even destination, even the URL, so that you can make sure that this is correct. I always do it. Even if I create a campaign from scratch, I always do it in order to check if everything is okay there, because these are the ones that it's going to actually use. Now, that being said, let's go to the subject for today, which is how many ad sets you should have inside a CBO campaign. One of the most famous questions, the reason that that I'm mentioning it is because I have seen one story from one person, and that's actually a little bit unfair, but guys, I'm going to start some English lessons because I feel like the reason that the channel is not having more and more exposure is because of my stupid English. And I'm going to try to improve them, okay, 100%, because I cannot see people talking perfect English and saying so many nonsense. So basically he was saying that you should not worry about that and you should do only one so that Facebook can focus in one. Zero understanding on hot pockets, zero understanding on CBO optimization. Why then CBO optimization was created if you have to do one ad? It doesn't make any sense. Why we didn't stick to the ABO then? What's the point of having CBO and having one ad? Guys, seriously, I don't know if people are thinking the things that they're saying. They talk in such good English and in such a professional way that you think that they're professionals. But for someone like me who has more experience, it looks like they don't know what they're talking about. What's your job if you do one CBO campaign with one ad set inside? What's your job? Are you optimizing at all? Are you doing anything differently from someone who can do it? What's the difference that you bring and what's the value that you bring to the table? In this channel, we teach CBO optimization, we teach hot pockets, we teach all of that so that we can differentiate and we can do something better. Okay, the game is rigged with Facebook ads, and I can understand that the more the time passes by, we will have less options for us to do things within the ads manager, but still we can still influence things. Advantage Plus, for example, we found a way of optimizing it on the ad level, seeing the dominant ad and stuff. Why don't you go deeper on technical? Also, another thing which I'm very happy is that, guys, I'm seeing you, all of you, the comments that you were putting before on you were posting before on my group and everywhere are completely different from the comments that you're posting now. I can see people with really serious questions in a deeper level. I can see on the previous podcast, for example, we have some very good questions that they were super nice and okay, they were wrong in a sense of what they were thinking, but at least they were having a philosophy behind them and trying to explain things. So I'm pretty happy with the level of the community right now and how we move on. Also, I'm seeing on Reddit, there are some people that they write things and stuff, you know. Some of my students, they're also there and they're posting their opinion about ads and stuff. I'm doing some mentoring also with people. One of them is Michael, and Michael posted something. He talked about hot pockets and stuff. When you see hot pockets, the bell is ringing. So somebody wrote below. His name was LM103 something. I'm not going to say all the other names. He posted Doulgeridis, Konstantinos, and basically saying that the things that you're saying is coming from Konstantinos, it's totally fine. You know, Michael has been trained by me. That's the good thing. If you really believe that you're good at something, you don't care if you train others and they're going to say the same things and stuff, because by the way, Michael totally deserves it. Okay, he's a very good guy. He's also listening to the podcast, so I have to say good words about him. It's not like Jonathan, for example, that I can say whatever I want because he doesn't watch it. Because Jonathan, the first thing that he asked is, have you made a video about the things that you're telling me right now on the phone and I don't know? And I told him, yeah, I have 2 videos about this, but they're very small. And he said, okay, obviously I'm not watching your videos. I say, okay, I know that you don't. But Michael is watching my videos. He's the one that he told me that I have to get better in English. So I will try. I'm looking for teachers. So yeah. It's okay, guys. If you see someone saying things that I'm saying about, I'm also saying for Facebook ads, it's one more guy that we persuaded that this is what is the right, and not stupid things like doing CBO campaigns and cold traffic with one ad set. So how many ad sets we should put, guys? This question cannot be answered if we don't have all the data. What is the data? First of all, we need to know, did you run any ads? Do you know your numbers? Because knowing your numbers is what is going to define how many ad sets we're going to use. For example, let's say that we have a CBO campaign with $100. And let's say that you have never done any ads, okay? So what are we going to do here is we're going to think, okay, how much am I thinking that I should spend in order to get a sale? So if my product sells for 25, 30, from my experience, I should expect the sales between 25, 30. So with the 100, as a new pixel, I'm saying, okay? So with the 100, I'm going to do 4 or 5 ad sets. And then based on what sales I'm getting, I'm going to adjust it. For example, if I'm getting a sale for $10 cost per purchase with the 100, then I'm going to go with 5 so that I can get 2 sales per ad set. And not with 10 because it's a little bit too much. If I'm getting 60 cost per purchase in my initial ads and my pixel is untrained and all of that, I will go to 3 ad sets, trying to limit it a little bit because 2 ad sets is too small, but 3 ad sets is normal. If I'm having an average cost per purchase of 25 and I'm having a budget of 200, let's say, what I can do is that I can say, okay, I can go with 8 ad sets, or I can go with 4 ad sets, which means that with 4 ad sets, I'm trying to get 2 sales per ad set. And basically what I can do is I can put another one there. So instead of 4, go with 5. So basically slow down the process. Now, this is how you pick how many ad sets you are going to put in your CBO campaign, based your average cost per purchase and based the budget that you're also going to have, because the budget is going to dictate. And you can do the math and you can put either 1 less or 1 more. Of course, don't go more than 10, okay? Because it's going to make the CBO optimization much more difficult and maybe you're not experienced. But if you are running, for example, $500, just to give you an example, and your average cost per purchase is 25, you're not going to go with 20 ad sets. You can, if you want, you can. But most probably it's going to start spending on some of those more and stuff, and you will have to know better CBO optimization instead of a basic 3 or 4 or 5 asset CBO. Instead of that, you can do that divided. So you need 20 ad sets, okay? But you can do, for example, with 500, 10 ad sets and try to get double the amount of sales inside that. Now, if you want to be a little bit more aggressive with your 10 ad sets, you can put 8 ad sets in order for you to be a little bit more aggressive, or you can put 12, for example, in order for you to go and do a slower optimization. What does this mean? Let's say that the next day that you have done your CBO optimization, you go and you see in your ad sets that you're having 5 ad sets and all of them, they have spent $30, for example, okay? That means that you have, if your average cost per purchase is 25 that you are getting, that means on the ad account in average. And in average, to be honest with you, in the cold traffic, not in the, don't put inside the average numbers the retargeting. The retargeting is a different discussion. What kind of cost per purchase you are getting in your cold traffic, I mean. So when you do that, you go and you see that, okay, my average cost per purchase is 25. I'm spending 30 on needs. So it's going super fast. So my next campaign that I'm going to do, I'm not going to do it with 4, I'm going to do it with 6 ad sets in order for me to slow down the process. Because what we want to see in a CBO campaign is one campaign, for example, getting 40, 50, 60 spent and having 1 or 2 sales ideally. If it doesn't, we have to close it. But this falls under the category of CBO optimization, which we discussed, or we will discuss another time. Here we discuss about the level, the number of ad sets. So you might go and you will see 50, 60, and some others spending only 10, some others spending only 20. Some will get lucky with a small, with a sale which is coming in small cost per purchase like 10 or 20 and so on. But if you go and all of them have spent something which is above or close to the break even, then it's a problematic situation, because if all of them don't have a sale, then this campaign was probably, it's not optimizable, or you have to pick the 1 or 2 that they have a sale and immediately drop the budget. So you're not taking the optimization to a 2, 3, 4 days process. You're just doing it in 1 or 2 days. On the other hand, we might have the other thing, which is that I go and I see that my campaigns, for example, I have so many ad sets that my campaigns are spending $5, $6, $7, $10 per day, while my average cost per purchase is 25. That means that you have to decrease the number of ad sets so that you can give fair chances in a daily level. The budgets are daily, as we said here, and they reset in a daily level. That means that when you are going and you're putting several ad sets, you are asking too much from Facebook in a daily level. It doesn't matter if you spend 1,000 in 1 year, in 1 month, but it matters how much you are spending per day. Is it enough or not? So in the CBO optimization, if you put, and if you go the next days and you see that it's going very slow, you know, and you're having some ad sets spending $1 or $2 or $3, one of them $10, another. So you have to lower the amount of ad sets so that it can go more aggressively. This is what I mean, going more aggressively or less. And by doing this process and adding 1 ad set, removing 1 ad set, and all of that, eventually you're going to have the recipe for your ad account. There is no such thing as I'm going immediately and okay, one thing that I'm doing a lot of times is 100 with 3-4 ad sets in order to test initially in ad account what is working. But even in another account that I'm going later and there are ads that they have been working there, I'm checking the past history and I'm seeing the average cost per purchase, and then I'm seeing what am I going to do. Now, this completely changes with higher ticket items or with big average order value orders and all of that. So you have to be a little bit more flexible in these ad accounts, and you have to give it more space in the optimization that you will do later. But what I'm trying to say here is that by all of the things that I told you earlier and the observation that you are going to do on your own in the ad account, eventually you're going to find what is the correct combination, how many ad sets for that budget, how many ad sets for that budget. And not only that, based on my experience teaching people and mentoring people, I have seen that people have different styles, which is very interesting. Because I thought that, for example, I'm very aggressive. I'm super aggressive with my ads. I might go and close things and I don't care if the next day. I guess this is coming with experience, because I see also people, as the time passes by and they become more experienced, they are more aggressive also. Because it's also fascinating, guys. If you do it in a very slow pace, it's boring for me and for everyone else who is doing optimization in a daily level. Also, in bigger budgets, like spending 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 per CBO or per Advanced Plus, you have to be more aggressive because you can create more problems when you spend more money. So that being said, I think that another thing that that we need to discuss here is that everyone has his own style. Maybe you are the kind of person that you are more aggressive and you want to see your assets spending more during the day so that you can take decisions faster. Maybe you are a more conservative guy and you like to do a much slower process optimization. There is not right or wrong here. The whole point is to be profitable and have good ROAS. So that being said, I think that you also need to find the recipe for your ad account and based on your budget for the CBO and the average cost per purchase, but also find the style that you like. Okay, it's like basketball, I guess. You can have different style of shooting, but the goal is one, to get the ball inside the hoop. Okay, so that's all about this. I hope that it makes sense. I like the topic. I don't like to discuss it all the time. It's boring. It's the same question again and again, but fine. But the other thing that I want to say about it is that I'm going to create also a video about it because I need to just give the video to people to watch and understand how it works, I guess. So the first question for today, it comes from a person that is posting a lot. And he says, if you have 5 ads, what do you recommend as a budget for the ad set? Thanks. That's why I put it first so that I will not forget that I meant. So, dude, I said all of these things. I think you understand. Now, okay, but let's answer. If you have 5 ads, what do you recommend as a budget for the ads? Yeah, it depends on your average order value. Average cost per purchase. Next one. Hello, firstly, thank you very much for your content. It significantly stands out in terms of quality compared to other channels I've watched. Thank you very much. Secondly, I have a question about my Facebook advertising strategy. I run ads on 4 advertising accounts. Okay, I remember that. Each for a different product in the same niche. Typically, 3 ads are active simultaneously on 3 different advertising accounts. I advertise in Poland with a $25 budget per campaign, and as a result, one campaign may break even while 2 yield a small profit. Would you advise focusing on one campaign with a larger budget or continue simultaneously testing with multiple products, hoping that one performs well and then scaling it? So this is if the items have the same average order value, I guess, first of all, the fact that you're doing this question means that you understand that what you do is problematic. The way that you say it, I also understand that it's problematic and that it's not nice as a structure. So you do understand that there is a problem here, which is good. It means that you have a feeling about ads. Now, if we think of it, the only factor here that matters in order for you to put all of these in one campaign is the average order value that you get from each of the items. If these items are kind of on the same niche, if these items are kind of having the same price and you get the same average order value, 100% you can put them in the same campaign and let them compete with each other. There's nothing wrong with letting the creatives or products compete with each other as long as they are kind of same. Okay, if they are different, sadly you need to have different budgets for each one of them, because you might have to do different targeting for different niches for the products. You might have to do you might have different rules for the optimization if a product sells for 50 or if a product sells for 100. And then it says, Konstantinos, I want to clarify further. With a limited budget, is it better to launch one campaign with a larger budget, having assets for different products, or focus on one product with various creatives? I think I replied already. If it's for one product, could the campaign structure be, for instance, one campaign, 3 assets, 3 different creatives for different assets? Yes, it could be this. If it's one product with the 25, I think it's too much to put 3 assets. You say 3 here, 139, and then you say one campaign, 3 assets, 3 different creatives for each asset. Oh, 3 different creatives Yeah, so 9. So 3. Yeah, it's fine because the problem here is if you have 25 for a CBO with 3 ads, I think it's too much. Unless if you're getting $5 or $10 cost per purchase, which is fine. But for grouping them together, I think the most important is to know the things that I analyzed earlier about if they are on the same niche or if they have the same price and all of that. About the structure of 139, I think that you need a little bit more budget, but also this depends on the cost per purchase that you're getting. If it's 10, it's totally fine, for example. If it's 5, it's totally fine. If it's 20, it's a little bit too much. I would go with one ad set over here if it's 20 and you have only 25. Now, having 3 ads within an ad set is totally fine. I do 3 between 5 or I do dynamic creative ads. Next one. Hi Konstantinos, I'm currently running your crazy method in a CBO campaign. Good for you. And I'm getting good results using broad targeting with no interests. Okay, that's good. That means that your pixel is good. Would you recommend me to test new creatives in an ABO campaign with broad targeting? No interest or with interest. My pixel already has 600, 700 pesos from this pro. Why? Why? Why you take the Ferrari and you want to go back to Lada? It doesn't make any sense. You have the crazy method. You understand that there are more advanced ways of running ads, and we don't live in 2018. Okay, so why go back to ABO? You have the crazy method, you have something that is working. The structure is crazy method, broad targeting. Go and test your creatives there with one new campaign. You don't care if it's an ABO, you don't care if it's something works in an ABO because it's going to be small business now. Do you know what you care about? If something is going to work in a very stressed situation like a CBO campaign where assets compete with each other and you form different pockets and one asset can spend much more money from the other instead of having stable budgets and all of that. So for me, ABO testing is dead and we should not do it. We should go straight away to having sales. It's a waste of money, it's a waste of time, and we should go straight away of having sales in real conditions. Okay, it's like testing it's like testing a weapon for a war in a Luna Park. Okay, okay, if it works in a Luna Park, it doesn't mean that's going to work in the field, for example, with F-16s flying above you. Okay, just that. Let's continue. Should we do crazy method with interest targeting only, or we can do it with broad targeting only? That's the whole point. Crazy method goes with everything. But guys, again, as I said, crazy method is something that you use when you have something working. If you have something working, you take it and you duplicate it so that you can exploit it. The whole point of you doing one campaign with a crazy method and having it as broad target or whatever is because we want to create different hot pockets. Facebook doesn't necessarily going to target the same people. If you have an audience of 100 million people and you put this, it's not going to target the same people. It's going to target different people based on the initial interaction of the ads, and based on the initial sales, it's going to continue finding more people based on that. So it forms hot pockets. If you think of it, it wouldn't make any sense for Facebook to target the same people all over again in this audience, because then you would compete for exactly the same people for everyone using the same combination. Okay, so yes, it's targeting different people based on the period, based on your creatives. It doesn't matter, but it does. So it creates different hot pockets eventually over there. So yes, the crazy method can work with everything. With a lookalike that is working, yes. With an interest that's working, yes. With a broad targeting, yes. Everything. So let's say that you are observing, for example, that you are doing broad targeting ads. They are working pretty well, and you are having, for example, you want to make it a little bit better. So you're saying, okay, I can see that I'm having sales from 25 plus age and only on women. You can run a crazy method broad targeting 25 plus to 65 plus, and women only, and do it with crazy method. The problem with crazy method is that you should not abuse it or use it just so you think, just so that you will think that it's going to have good results. For example, you have no indication that one interest is working and you run it with crazy method. Why? There's no point to that. The point is that I have something working in an audience of 50 million. I know that I have targeted just a small fraction of it. I want to exploit it. I want to have more hot pockets within this audience, or test at least if I can get more hot pockets in this audience. So that's the point of the crazy method, to just take something that's working and just taking more out of it, okay? Because if you have a campaign with interests, for example, and you put 10 interests, one per ad set, 10 ad sets with one interest on each, then you see one or two of them, they're having sales. Then you have immediately two more campaigns, okay? But you doing crazy method, just immediately without, sometimes I do it. For example, I go in another account that has a lot of sales, okay? I will do a crazy method with stack lookalikes, for example, okay? But a lot of times I have seen from people using the crazy method thinking that it's a blueprint that's going to work anyway. It's not about that. The crazy method is about exploiting something that has worked. So, and also you cannot abuse it, because you do it once. It doesn't mean that you can do another 5 campaigns with the same audience. Maybe it's going to work, okay? But still, you don't have to abuse it. Don't get disappointed if you do another one, it doesn't work, for example, okay? It doesn't always going to work, but for sure it's going to help you exploit more and scale when you found something that's working. Next one. Do you still consider that it's a good idea to try using one-day click on an untrained pixel? I never thought that it was a good idea to use one-day click on an untrained pixel. I was only using it with manual bidding, with big budgets, and in trained pixels. Never used it in an untrained pixel. I was thinking that maybe the algorithm would optimize faster. How come? Since maybe it would consider that if a person didn't buy at the first impression, then that kind of person is not useful to target anymore, while the 7 days click would wait 7 days to consider that. It's just a theory of mine. It's a wrong theory, I believe, because in order for you to optimize faster, don't forget that you need to have higher budgets, okay? So if you're having $100 per day and you're doing one click optimization, that's difficult. But if you're having $5,000 per day and you want to use it, fine. It's okay. But you will just have this problem of different days being good or bad, okay? But over there, I can understand it, okay? That you are targeting different people and so on. But I would rather follow your opinion though, since I don't have enough budget to waste testing. Thanks. If you don't have enough budget, don't do it then. That's my only thing. One-day optimization has worked in several accounts, but it was always big budgets, okay? Not in small budgets. In small budgets, sadly, and not for the learning phase, okay? Forget that. But in small budgets, sadly, you need more data. Data is the key here, and you need more data. Next one. Do multiple advanced plus campaigns is in same ad account not compete with each other, even if all creatives are different? Especially for creatives are different, they are not competing with each other, because the creatives are also going to help you form the hot pockets that we explained earlier. As we said earlier, we're not targeting the same people always in the same audience. So advanced plus is a broad targeting, but it's not going to target the same people again and again. If that was the case, everyone who's creating ads as a broad audience, they would target the same people. It wouldn't make any sense. Think of it, guys. It doesn't make any sense. So it's forming different hot pockets based on the initial people that's going to target and based on the initial people that they're going to buy. And especially when you have different creatives, okay, I can hear that you might have some overlap and stuff on bigger budgets again, not on small budgets, but on bigger budgets again, you might have some overlap when you use the same creatives. But when you use other creatives, you are also approaching people from different aspects. So a person that might convert with creative A, maybe it's not going to convert with creative D, because they have different theme, they have different hooks, they show different examples of usage of the product and all of that. So different creatives also help you have more sales. That's the whole point, because they are differentiating the product and they show other uses of the products that they're going to resonate with other people, targeting more sub niches of the niche that you want to actually target. That being said, hot pockets are important over here to understood, and I think that the more the people understand the hot pockets and how they're being formed, they are going to be fine. I have videos about hot pockets. I think you should go and you should watch them. Konstantinos, thank you for your reply, sir. Thank you. I mean, would you name a third party that I could use? Any recommendation? I'm not familiar with these apps. Thank you for your time replying. By the way, about your masterclass here. Thank you, man. I hope you enjoyed it. I can see your progress also there. Now, about these apps, after the fiasco with Blowout, there's no way that I'm going to be involved in any of these again. I think it would be extremely difficult for me to be involved in any other things. Maybe I'm going to keep the channel for a long time without anything. Secondly, it's not my job to recommend you anything because I'm not using them for optimization, which is the most important part for me. I'm not using them for reporting because I have to watch Facebook and what Facebook reports, because this is what Facebook is going to use to optimize. Now, as a business owner, of course, I think that these tools are valuable so that you can know lifetime value. You can know where sales are coming from, real ROAS and all of that to check. But I cannot suggest something, guys, because all of them, they do the same job. They're kind of good. I cannot say Triple Whale, Wikit Reports, or something else, or Hyros. So it's up to you to choose. I guess you need to watch videos from other people that they are proposing them, but most of them, they are also affiliates with that. So I don't know if you will hear honest opinions about which one is the best. But my opinion doesn't matter here because I'm not using them in the way that I want you to use them. I want you to use them in order to know your data better. For example, if you have a subscription model company, it's very important to know your retention rate, because if we are getting clients right now as a cost per purchase of $100 and the subscription is $100, that means that we can scale, because if we see that the retention rate of people, let's start with the 80%. The 80% of the people stay there for 6 months. That means that we are getting $600 from these people, and we can see this data from these programs. That means that we can go and we can spend, for example, $400 as a cost per acquisition while scaling, because when you scale, the cost per acquisition is going to increase. So instead of spending 100K, maybe spend 500K and then make this money in the long term. So it's very important to know these tools are helping you to understand your growth, okay? Because Facebook is not only about the sale that you're going to have in a month, okay? It's how much more this person is going to spend. Is it going to come again? Every when? And am I growing my email list? When I'm doing emails now, instead of having 10K profits, I'm having 20K after 5 months and doing Facebook ads and having growth. All of that. These are the things that you are going to win from these programs, apps, if you're going to use them. But I cannot propose you any, I guess, sorry guys, but the challenge is about Facebook ads. It's not about how you run an e-commerce store. I'm just a part of this business of running a store. Also, what's the best time to push campaigns live? Most advertisers says around 12 in the midnight. That campaign can spend the whole day. Is it really so? The truth, it's okay. I don't like it because I like 6 a.m. I like 6 a.m. because if you go in all of the Shopify stores, even in yours, you will see that you have this graph goes up in the evening and then it drops really, really low on this later on the night, okay? So what I like to do is I like to start them at 6 a.m. because from 12 to 2, it's fine, but then it drops a lot. So I like to start them at 6 a.m. So that the first day, which is the best day, because Facebook is giving you all the low hanging fruit so that you can get some sales and you can continue optimize after that for the purchase event, the way that Facebook works. I like at 6 a.m. It's not wrong to put it at midnight, I get it, but I like 6 a.m. to be a little bit more efficient with my budget and push it during the good hours of the day. But for sure, I don't like when people are starting ads at 6, 7, 8 o'clock because they think that's the prime hour, because it's just going to spend all the budget in just a few hours, or even you're not going to give it a fair chance in your best day, which is the first 24 hours, and you have the best chances of getting the best results. Next one is hi Konstantinos, I didn't know that if I optimize for a country, then if I target another country, that means that the new country would not be optimized. I didn't say that. I said that the demographics of a country are different. For example, the people who are married in Greece, age, the profiles of the people are completely different from the people who are married in India, for example, okay, because people are getting married there earlier. A pregnant woman in Europe has different demographics from a pregnant woman in United States. Okay, so there are different demographics from country to country, and you need to understand that if your pixel is trained to a European women profile, it's much more difficult to go in an American woman profile. That's what I'm trying to say. I currently target about 20 countries. After I began using the fundamentals of the crazy method, my untrained account is getting sales faster. Thank you. I'm really glad, guys, that crazy method is working for you. You know, when I was doing it and I wasn't listening to anyone talking about it, I was feeling like I will end up in a hut in the mountains with the walls running crazy method. I told you it's working, you know, like the movies that we see with a guy that became crazy and he isolated himself in the mountains. Of course, it was easier because I had Jonathan, which was telling me that it was also working for him when we started talking and we met. But right now, I'm getting much more joy out of this, because basically all of the things that I'm saying and nobody is talking about, now they start to make more sense because more people are validating them, and thank you for that. My question is, given that I need to get a few profit as fast as I can, this is not always the best case, okay? When you are being pushed to make a lot of profits fast, you make mistakes. I can then, should I focus spending more money only in one country? First of all, the rule that we always have is that if something is working, we don't touch it. Apart from that, what you can do is that you can break down and you can see the spends per country. And if you see that you're spending more money in 2 or 3 or 5 countries, you can focus on them more. Yeah, that being said, I think that you taking decisions based on the fact that you have to make money fast is never good, and most of the times this is catastrophic. But maybe it's a lesson that you have to take in this process in order for you to learn, because everything that we do with Facebook ads or e-commerce is just a lesson that we take so that we can be better in our next project or in our business the next day. So mistakes are fine. I'm just telling you, maybe you're not going to listen to me, it's fine. You're going to learn on your own. But when you we push Facebook ads to spend more or to have better results when they are working, not because we have to pay the bills. Okay, it's different. So we push things when Facebook shows us that we can do it. If we cannot, Facebook is not going to be there to pay our bills. It's like you have problems and you go to the casino to play on the roulette in order for you to find money to buy a car because you don't have a car. Okay, most probably you're going to lose all the money that you also have, and you won't have the money to take the bus. Okay, just to give an example. Hi Konstantinos, a few days ago I asked a question, should I target specific gender if it performs the best with interest audiences, and you said yes, of course. I mostly use video ads, and today I want to launch some image campaigns. If women were performing the best with videos, should I start by targeting women as well with images? 100%. You should check it and do it like this. Or maybe different creative format could be appealing to men as well. So should I start with both genders? I would do women. So after some point, of course, it really matters. So if you're selling makeup, you will target women. I don't know if your item is not gender specific, but I think that especially in smaller budgets, you can be more specific, okay, and you can spend more in order to have better chances of having better results later on. Even if you will do broad targeting, it's going to target on its own women, so you can focus right now on whatever it's working. It's totally fine, and yes, most probably if I had videos working with women, I would do only women with images also, just to be safe. Hi, thanks for the video. Do you have an article from Meta where this is officially communicated? Please, thanks a lot. He's talking about the pixel being removed. I made a video about it. First of all, there were posts that they were coming. I didn't keep them, but there were posts that they were coming from people working on Meta, that they were saying that the pixel was going to be removed. But when I went to the Meta headquarters on Ireland the previous year, when was it? Was it on October? I think it was October. October or September. When I went there, I asked them, what is happening with the Pixel? And they told me that you guys that you do e-commerce, you think that you are the tip, you think that you are the top of the marketeers inside, but there are so many people that they do ads also on Facebook. And they are not e-commerce stores. They are just simple stores that they just have a pixel. What they have realized in Meta, and this is why they didn't remove the pixel, is that the problem is that still 80% of the people, which was shocking to me, 80% or 85% of the people just use pixel. And they told me it's just a hair salon, is this and that and that. E-commerce stores are just a small percentage of the advertisers, not for the money that they spend, but for the number of the ad accounts. There are many ad accounts out there in a very amateur level that they don't spend a lot, or they just boost posts and stuff. All of these people, they just have a pixel, and 85% of these people has a pixel. So Meta realized that it's almost impossible to make them to change to API only, so they never removed the pixel. This is the formal answer that I got from Facebook about it. And also something else that I want to point out is that I might post a video. What's the dates, guys? Okay, I cannot just go in each one of the video and just pin comments about things. I also forget all the things, as we said. The changes with Meta are cataclysmic, so check also the dates. Also check the dates for other people. When you watch about ABO strategies about targeting, if they created them on 2018, well, you have to think about it. Next one. Hi Konstantinos, I'm currently running a few crazy method campaigns and planning on duplicating them to a bigger budget. Don't get greedy, okay? Don't overexploit it. I have 5 creatives in total. I have 5 creatives in total, and I'm noticing one creative has generated some negative, angry reactions. I was thinking when duplicating, maybe create a brand new similar creative and replace it with the one with the negative reactions. Okay. If it doesn't have a lot of engagement, maybe 10 reactions in total, so I won't be losing a lot of social proof. Is this something you would consider doing, or you don't pay much attention to that? Thanks. I wouldn't pay much attention to that with only 10 reactions. I think you are overreacting to it. I would pay attention to it if it's getting budget. If it's getting budget, it's going to be problematic if it has negative. If it has negative, first of all, I would remove it. Secondly, you say that you want to scale with crazy method and all of that, but you have only 5 creatives. You have to work on creatives, okay? Crazy method is just a way of you getting from 100 to 200. Getting to 500 needs more creatives, needs more campaigns and all of that, and not necessarily crazy method. So don't abuse it, because you're going to start seeing your ROAS dropping. Maybe it's going to work though, okay? Sometimes I was able to scale to 1K per day just with crazy methods one after the other. Now, about the thing with the creative, I need to tell you that it's very important over here to think the fact that Facebook doesn't recognize good from bad engagement. So Facebook is going to think that people are engaging with this post. So this is a good post, so let's give it more budget. So if this is the case and people are engaging negatively, you should not continue with this creative because it's getting negative engagement, but Facebook doesn't understand it. It's going to spend money to it. So it's ruining your whole campaign optimization over here. So remove it and don't try to manage it with hiding comments and all of that. It doesn't worth it if it does that. On the other hand, if it doesn't get budget and just took some bad reactions and stuff, just post it again. If it happens again, then remove it and never try it again. But what I want you to learn from this is that you should be a little bit careful with the negative engagement because Facebook cannot recognize it, and a lot of times you might think that this is getting a lot of engagement, but you have to check also if it's negative engagement so that you know if you have to shut it down or not. Last question. Hi Konstantinos, we have one big problem. Our product price is about 150 euros and our audience, the whole audience is about 1 million people and nothing can be changed, that's the limit. The ad account is about 4 years old and we spent enough money for this region. So the problem is that we cannot leave the learning phase or to get to 50 sales a week. We tried different methods to increase the budget and so on. Same in the end, learning limited. Yes, we tried to proceed with a learning limited, but in a few days the sale drops even more. To start conversion campaigns with the objective add to cart, niche checkout, you know there is no point. What do you suggest? How to leave the learning limited phase, because sometimes it seems impossible to leave this phase because of the audience small and limited and the price of the product high, so not every person can buy it. Thanks. So what I want you to understand here is that how can I say this in a very polite way? You have 1 million audience and you have a limited area and you have the budget that you have. Well, you cannot have everything that you want in life if you put all of these if you put this product in this specific situation, because you're putting a limiting audience and then you're just putting also over here. First of all, don't care about the learning phase, okay? Learning phase is something that we should not care about and you should not watch it and all of that. Okay, fine. Learning phase, let's leave it on the side. Even on other accounts that they don't have 1 million audience, we don't care about the learning phase. Secondly, over here, you are having 1 million audience and you're saying that you are limited and all of that. Yes, you're going to be limited. And one other thing is that this campaign is going to die from time to time because it's a very small audience. So embrace it. That's what I'm trying to say. It's going to happen again and again, and don't try to find a solution. The big problem here is the limitation that you have for the reach and all of that. But it's not a problem. It's not a problem that's going to be solved with any strategy. Okay, that's what I'm trying to actually say here. So be okay with that. Understand that you will not get past the learning phase. You will get learning limited. Your campaign is going to die and you have to relaunch it from time to time. There is nothing to do when you do that because you are limited in your budget and in your 1 million people, not in your budget, in the 1 million people. That's the main issue over here, and you can do nothing about it. Just do it like this. So this is not a problem. This is reality. Okay. It is a problem in a sense, but it's not. The problems have solutions. This doesn't have a solution because it's 1 million audience. I hope that I make sense. Guys, Freelancer Diaries, really fast. Facebook ads media buyer. I need someone to manage my Facebook ad campaign. Daily monitoring and cutting based on CPA target. Perfect. Testing new creatives every day. Testing new campaign structures and audiences. So guys, the reason that I'm posting this is because if you're testing new creatives every day, that means that you're spending so much money on the ad account, and eventually even the campaigns that are working, they're going to start deteriorating. So testing is okay, but testing doesn't have to be your money pit. Because when you're doing testing, you do it so that you can improve the results of your ad account, not so that you can spend so much money that you're not going to be able to recover them from your profitable campaigns. So testing also needs some limits. Okay, you cannot just keep testing and having just one campaign. It doesn't make any sense. I see people obsessed with testing all the time, and they don't realize that this is a game about profits and it's not about testing. We are not scientists over here that we're getting funded by the government to run tests in order to improve the humanity or find another element or find the boson Higgs or whatever. We're not that. We are businesses and we need to make money. We are going to test, but the test is going to be just a small fraction of our budget, which is going to be which we are investing. Okay, I get it, but there has to be another bigger budget which is being spent and is making profit so that we can keep investing to the R&D that companies are doing. This is our testing. Okay, so testing every day in campaigns, unless if you do it in a stupid way of an ABO, which doesn't make any sense because it's just a waste of money. That means that you will keep testing, and eventually at the end of the day, when you draw the line and you just do the calculations, you will see that because of your testing, you were not profitable. That's all I had for you today, guys. I hope that you liked it. I enjoyed this podcast actually because it had some good questions and we covered some really nice topics, and I was able also to say some bad things about Jonathan, which is always enjoyable to talk a little bit about Jonathan. The good part is that he's never going to see that. That's the best part, especially saying these things at the end of the podcast. It's almost certain that he's not going to see it. Unless if he's persuaded now because he didn't know that, and he says I must watch more of his content in order to be a little bit more updated. But he's already updated, so it's okay. It's all that. I'm going to close saying F you, Jonathan. And guys, I will see you on the next podcast. Bye. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.